Very good morning to you.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for joining us. The US elections. The world is in flux, the world is in change. Arguably what we're seeing is the rise of populism in our world. What should business schools, business leaders be doing to combat populism?
We're undoubtedly seeing the rise of a reaction against globalization. I think the reason is because people perceive two things. They perceive that globalization has led to huge benefits for some, but many people have been left out. Inequality is growing, and many people feel they're left behind, and they are. When things change more rapidly, people get left behind quicker, and that's what we're seeing. And this perception needs to be dealt with, so we need to ensure more inclusive globalization. We need to ensure that our countries have social safety nets, that we invest more in housing and infrastructure, which allows people to move to where the jobs are, that we care more about people that are not benefiting or that are being left out. And secondly, globalization leads to new risks. It led to cascading financial crisis. It leads to perceptions of climate change, which are real, of course, of pandemics, of cyber attacks, of terrorism, these things that come across our borders from somewhere else. We don't understand them. We need to deal with those. We need to manage these risks more effectively. That means we need to be more joined up to deal with climate change, to deal with pandemics, cyber attacks, terrorism. If we can deal with these two things, I think we will feel that globalization is a good thing. We know that it brings many good things, not least for people in other countries. And so the responsibility is on businesses, I think, to be more long-term in their thinking, to care more about the consequences of failure. So ethics, judgment become more and more important in all of this. And I think to pay their taxes. One of the things that's happening is an offshoring of taxes. And people perceive this. They perceive that it's not fair, that CEOs of companies do so well and appear to not pay tax. I mean, the bizarre thing is, of course, electing Trump, who I don't think has paid tax for a very long time. But this sense of unfairness needs to be grappled with by, I think, people acting appropriately. And what business schools can do is, and IESE is already doing this, but do it maybe even more intensely in the future, is ensuring a real commitment to judgment, to ethics, and to success, as well as, I hope, some of the people in future going into politics, because what we're lacking in politics is business people with a real understanding and commitment to a more inclusive globalization.
So we talked about some of the challenges that we're facing in these rather turbulent, tumultuous times with great seismic events, the Brexit, the US presidential election and so on. These are the risks that we face that you've been discussing. What about the opportunities? How would you classify the opportunities ahead of us?
Well, in my new book, Age of Discovery, I talk about this time as being a new renaissance. It is a new renaissance. This is by far the best time in human history to be alive. It's by far the best time to be in business. There's more value added in the world every day than ever in history. If you can't make money, it's not because it's not out there to be made, or if you can't do good things. The opportunities are greater, and we know more because of our systems of information. So it is an extraordinarily beneficial time. Of course, the number of actors is increasing, so competition is increasing in this process. And with that, the pace of change is increasing, innovation is accelerating. Today is the slowest day we'll know for the rest of our lives. And so the responsibility on leaders and on business leaders and on business schools is to be prepared for more rapid change, for tumultuous change. And that's what happened in the Renaissance. Now, the Renaissance we celebrate 500 years later as being this iconic moment in history where everything changed, and it did. Science, arts, perspective, globalization changed it then, and technologies, the Gutenberg printing press. The challenge today is to ensure that we don't end like the Renaissance, which was the bonfire of the vanities, the spreading of diseases around the world, and religious wars. And what we need to ensure is that we in 500 years' time celebrate our time as the time when we overcame poverty in the world. We overcame climate change and other great challenges by acting together, and also ensuring that in our businesses we are more responsible.